Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. It's Thursday. I'm Peter Martin. Thank you very much for your company. Alan Rough and Gordon Smith are with me in the studio to discuss yet another embarrassment. Kazakhstan 3, Scotland 0 in Astana. And I have to say, humiliation is the only way to sum it up, Alan Rough.
Yeah, I'm usually in goals when you say humiliation in a Scotland jersey, but not this time. As a supporter, disappointed. I think we all thought that some of the players that were at the disposal were good enough to go there with their track record to get something out of that game, but unfortunately on the day it never ever looked like it after the first 5 minutes, and it's a sore one to take. It's going to be a really sore one for the players, the manager and everybody, to pick themselves up. And fortunately the next two games are San Marino and Cyprus, so it's something that we can build on, but it is really, and it'll be really interesting to see what the aftermath of this result is tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it should be scathing because I thought they were inept. The amount of people reacting to us on our Facebook Live is incredible. Shocking, shambles, terrible. Some calling for Alex McLeish's head. It is only match day one of the way this Euro 2020 qualifier will continue. Of course, there's the main qualifiers now, but there's still that fallback position, Gordon Smith.
Yeah.
But on the evidence of what we just witnessed, they were woeful.
Very, very poor. I mean, they did start quite well. I mean, that was the funny thing about it, was they were actually, Kazakhstan weren't getting forward at all. Scotland were dominating the first few minutes. And Burke had a couple of good runs, got in behind him. I thought, well, this is going to be quite interesting today. They're going to, how they can handle him. Then Kazakhstan scored right out of the blue, one long ball over the top, and the player makes a run, smashes it in, and then it all changed. I thought that from point of view of both sides, as one team got a big lift from it, Kazakhstan. Scotland looked as if they were in a downer, and after that goal, the second goal, really maybe just cemented it, but they were actually poor after that, and from then on for the whole game I thought Scotland offered nothing. They didn't close Kazakhstan down, they didn't pass the ball well enough, they didn't actually create any real clear-cut chances, and they didn't defend well enough, and that was all those things taken into account made it one of the worst Scotland performances I've seen in years.
Yep, when you look at that starting 11, I just cannot give anyone pass marks, Ruffy, from the starting lineup. I mean, Graham Shinnie, I'm not going to single him out as the key element of how Scotland lost, but he was at the heart of it because it was down his side. If it was not a ball in behind him, it was allowing a man to run off him. And in the end, we were found out big time at the back.
Yeah, we were, but obviously we're two of our best players in the last couple of years. Obviously Tierney and Robertson weren't there, wherever you would have played them. But they targeted Shinnie because they knew they had a player there who was playing left back who, okay, people can say, oh, he can play left back. It's okay saying, yeah, you can play left back, but can you play at international level? Can you play it? Can you raise your game enough, to put on a jersey with the pressures that come with it? And unfortunately, it never happened for him. But you're right, maybe we're fortunate it is Kazakhstan and not Belgium or Russia, because that would have been horrendous if we'd put in that kind of performance against either of these two.
Yeah, we have to look at the scenario. We're looking at the game here, and we've got San Marino at the weekend. Everybody says, we need to win that game. Of course we do, but it might make no difference whatsoever because it depends how our major rivals in this group do against Kazakhstan. I mean, Belgium might go there and win, Russia might go there and win, and then that just throws that result into chaos for us in that respect, because then you think to yourself, how can we pick up enough points? Because then we maybe need to go and beat Russia and Belgium. It's not as if we get into these games on a level playing field if we've already lost to one of the lower seeded groups, teams in the group, because the San Marino the worst, then it was Kazakhstan, then Cyprus, then us, so they're fifth seed.
Yeah, listen, they're 117th in the world. We should be beating them.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, right now, our standards, not only on the international stage, despite the fact I think we're inside the top 50 just, we're poor. Even our domestic game has fallen so much. It's only now getting out of the gutter, and our best team in Scotland is at best a Europa League side.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, Celtic players are playing, but I mean, they've done well for Celtic. I think Celtic were disappointing in Europe because I do feel they should have done better than they did with the players they have. And that was a little bit, tonight was a little example of that. I'm looking at the team, Peter, and I'm still saying that maybe one or two players, Shinnie out of position, no doubt. I hadn't seen Palmer playing before. Don't know whether he fitted in that well. But overall, I looked at the rest of the team and I'm thinking, in general, we've got a group of players there that should have done better than what they did tonight. Yeah, they didn't do well.
If we're looking at the team, Peter, there's only two people in that team today have got any international experience. Mm-hmm. There's only two people, Forrest and Armstrong. The rest are all just novices. They've not got any number of caps under their belt. They've never been anywhere, against bigger sides and performed. Me and Gordon were looking at a year ago?
Yeah.
We're talking the Scotland team that played England at Hampden, which was a fantastic day. There's only one player has survived in a year from the team now, and that is Armstrong.
Yeah.
And you look at the rest of the team, the experience that's in the team, the Mulgrews, the Tierneys, the Browns and Morrisons, Robertson, Snodgrass, Griffiths. That's where we are now. That's just like a reserve team that we're putting out just now compared to that tide.
Yeah, George says it's a disgrace. 4 wins in 10. Not good enough. Used to go religiously, but it's hard work. Absolutely woeful. And I think that apathy has kicked in. There was a lot of apathy once Alex McLeish come back. But I'm not going to take a scattergun over it and then start to look optimistically towards two teams that we should be beating coming up. Dealing with the issue of the here and now, where does that rank for you, Ruffy? I mean, and I'm not trying to throw you into the mix because, you've been involved with really good teams who've had poor results. Is it one of the worst ever? The worst ever? Here's 5 that we quickly come up with, including today's result.
And I just happen to be in 2 of them. No, I think if you look at the scale of things, let's not forget that Iran and Peru qualify for World Cup finals. Kazakhstan wouldn't get anywhere near a World Cup final.
Yeah, so they
must have been reasonable to get there. They must have the qualifying section to get through. But I think if you look at the rankings, this will be a disappointing one where they are and the pedigree that they've got. They've only, what did you say, two wins out of 30 against teams.
4 out of 34 they've had.
But teams that you would beat, only 3 draws and 30. They're the kind of stats that Alec McLeish will have to get his head around.
The other thing about it was that one of the aspects of football, and we saw it sometimes in some of the Celtic games in Europe as well, to be fair, was that we made them look like a better team tonight. If you watched that game, you would never think that Kazakhstan were over 100th in the FIFA rankings and all that. We made them look good.
Yeah.
Now that's a big problem as well. If you don't actually stop the opposition, nobody can play well as they played if you do your job properly. And I think Alan McLeish said that in his after-match talk, that the players did not respond to do what they were asked to do in terms of closing down the opposition. They did not close them down at all.
Yeah, Alan Thompson said on Facebook Live, novices but professional footballers, effort goes a long way, and that's something you want to see. You want to see them press, you want to see them put a bit of effort in. We didn't really create at all. I'm loath to defend any player on this, but we're now at the point where, I think Gordon Strachan made a mention earlier today, everybody's here who wants to be here, and that sums it up really, because there are players now who don't want to play for Scotland. So if they don't want to play, don't ask them back when they suggest that they do want to play. If you should be a clean sweep and say, okay, if you don't want to play for Scotland again, or you come up with this, I want to concentrate on my club football. Good. Thank you very much. Good night. The door is firmly slammed on you.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Obviously, you've got the injury scenario now where players are protecting themselves for their future with their clubs. You have to get your head around that one as well. Now this Astra stuff, has kicked in as well. Players are now using it as an excuse, so I can't play in that. At international level, you might get away with it at club level, but when you get to international level, you've got to pull on that jersey.
Yep, it's a dismal day if you are a fan of Scotland. Poor result. We'll talk more about that, but here's the quiz. There are many reasons, Gordon Smith, why we find ourselves in this situation. Too long for this programme to start charting them all away. But nevertheless, I think we should start to. I think we should just start the cull and just, start to look for younger players who want to actually go and play the right way. I think, over the next 2 games, every game now is just, it's like walking on ice. Soft ice for Alex McLeish.
I don't think we should be looking for younger players because a lot of these players are pretty young.
Well, the experienced ones don't want to play.
No, they don't. But I mean, even going younger than the ones that were playing tonight.
No, I'm saying I think we'll look for a nucleus of people to say, "Do you want to play for Scotland? Great, come along."
Yeah, I mean, you look at the scenario there tonight. I mean, you've got Suter, who's at Hearts, but the 2 young centre halves we had on tonight are 2 players who have come through and are looking definitely, in people's opinion, are the future for the Scotland national team. Bates is doing well out in Germany. You've got McKenna's getting a lot of talk about big transfer fees. So you've got those 2. Bain has come in. He's more experienced, but he's not played many international games. But the midfield are 3 players who are highly rated: McGregor, McGinn, and Armstrong. So you're all these things, Peter. It's very, very hard to decide who should play. In my opinion, the Scotland team should just be about picking the best players and who are available and get them in the team.
But the best players sometimes pick and choose when they want to be available.
Well, if they're not, that's what I'm saying. If there's certain ones that are like that, then you do discount them and you don't go with them. You go with the ones, and all these guys tonight who played there didn't do well. We're all poor, but they're better than what they showed tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there were glimpses. I wouldn't give anybody pass marks at all, but I would have tried to explore more the blistering pace that Oliver Burke has, because there was times on that flank where he had the beating of someone. But the biggest problem we have, Ruffy, is no matter how many times he gets down to the line, he cuts it back to nobody, because we haven't got any strikers of note.
No, we had 1 striker in the box. Anytime Burke used his pace to get there, that was it. And his quality into the box wasn't what we would have liked. I don't think he's a wide player either. I don't think anybody's found a position for him. Whether it's in the middle or whether it's out wide. Obviously, Alex saw something that he could have taken their fullback, which he did a couple of times, but end ball was nothing. And these 3 players that Gordon's talking about, McGregor, McGinn and Armstrong, their strength at the club level is going and attacking people and getting in the 18-yard box and scoring goals.
They're all goal
We never
scorers,
saw that. I don't think any one of the 3 of them had a goal scoring chance or anywhere near it.
The only other one that goal scoring chance I can remember was Forrest. Remember, he side-footed it when he maybe could have done better. That's about the only one I can think of really. And that was a header that was won by McBurney, who won the header. He didn't really contribute an awful lot, but he won the header, and Forrest could have done better. But you're right, there was a lot of balls initially with Buck was playing them in the box, and no one was there. No one was on the end.
And the other thing about it is, most of the game as well, Ruffy, there were long periods where we are playing in front of them. They're quite happy to sit there, and soak it all up and then wait. But the goals we lost, the manner of them was woeful. And again, you talked about the qualities of McKenna and Bates. We are so poor that we have elevated some of our players to a level they're just not at it. They're not at it. We are playing different football from. In European football, we're lagging behind. We'll be lucky if we're at the table, unless, of course, somehow our representatives on the UEFA committee can still hold down a place potentially for Celtic and Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a well-known fact. The more competitions you play in, Champions League, Europa, against better sides, you come up against better players, you become a better player yourself because you know what you're coming up against. I just wondered, I mean, Gordon's made a right point. These are our young players.
Yeah.
We've got nobody in under 21s that we can elevate into this team. So what are we saying now? Right, let's forget about progress and forget about we go and stick with this young crowd, see how long it takes them to get the experience under their belt. But supporters and people won't buy into that now. They want immediate success.
Supporters would buy into a bit of effort, Gordon. But
of course,
they would buy into a bit of effort. There was not the same kind of real urgency and pressing as you mentioned.
Yeah.
The other thing about it as well is the standard of our player has dropped dramatically as well. And it's not just about, we're a small country. The Croatians have enjoyed great years of great footballers. They finished in the World Cup final.
Uh-huh.
So suddenly you're looking at Croatia. Then you can look and you can say to yourself, look at Belgium. Now, there's no excuses for us.
No, I would say I agree with you totally, and I think through the heart of the team there was maybe a lacking in one respect. We didn't have maybe another centre half. I mean, you roughly mentioned it earlier on, that game against England, Mulgrew and Berra were playing, right? Two experienced centre-backs. Maybe years gone by, you had Weir and you had Caldwell and people like that. These two young players maybe need somebody alongside them who is a very, very experienced centre-back. Through the middle of the park, we didn't have anybody who controlled the game. We didn't have a Scott Brown, for example, who could get in there and dictate and boss it for us. And then up front, we didn't have a really out-and-out target man like Fletcher did at times. I mean, although a lot of people used to criticise him, at least he was on the end of things and he held the ball up to allow people to go and support him.
Yeah.
But Burnley didn't do that tonight. You know what I mean? He didn't hold the ball up for people to go and support. So that element of it was missing, and that's something I think that maybe Alec McLeish will be looking at going forward and saying, maybe I do need to try and see who we've got that can do that. Because McGinn is a good young player, but he was not enough in the game tonight. I don't know if he's a dictating type of player, whether he can actually run a game or he's just a kind of box-to-box midfielder, but we do need somebody like that in that midfield area.
Yeah. I'm not going to shirk away from it, Ruffy. It was rank rotten to watch, but where do we go from here on this? There's no point in, I don't want to analyse the whole of our game and start looking at Think Tank 3, 4, 5 and another sequel along the way. What does Alex McLeish have to do now to get a grip of this situation before people are seriously saying to him, look, Alec, coming back a second time was a mistake?
Well, the first thing he needs to do is get his better players back. He needs to get the Tierneys, the Robertsons, the Frasers. If it is Fletcher, so be it. Because I don't see anybody else out there, that wants to play. And you've touched on it already. We want players who want to play. But I even think these 4 players would make a difference to that team coming in. But it's the same as any big team, whether it's Rangers or Celtic. You take Celtic's 4 best players out of their team, take Rangers' 4 best players, they're not going to be the same team.
No.
Unfortunately for us, that's where we are. We need these 4 best players in our side every day.
There's 2 other players who were missing for up front too, who we couldn't use, Griffiths and Naismith. 2 players who have done well as well, and their experience. Do you know what I mean? Either one of those 2, especially Naismith and the kind of form he's been in, if he was fit enough, I'm sure he would have played.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Stevie Naismith and always have been. I think he's a player who's able to bring other teammates into
the game.
You never realise the value of them. And Hearts fans have got a real insight into it. We were lucky enough to get down to see him at Everton. He's played at Norwich as well. Killie, Rangers.
Yep.
The value of someone with a touch who can also actually play a bit and score goals, and his work rate was never in question. But one of the things he also did, Ruffy, which I think was sorely missing there today, you mentioned about Scott Brown in the middle of the park. If Stephen Naismith was there wouldn't have been too many people trying to get away with slacking on it. He would have been on their case from minute 5, 10, all the way through to 90 and beyond.
And that's what we missed. We missed it in that team. We look at this team, they go back to the England team, you had Scott Brown in there, you had Snodgrass, guys who've got experience, and you go back even further to the McLeish and Miller days and Nasunas days, and you can go even further back to the Bremners and all that. They had people in the team that these young players would look up to and respond to, because they wouldn't have let them away with what we saw today.
We're crying out for somebody else who can change the game. We haven't got that Tanner Ball player anymore.
No, exactly. That's the thing. Forrest at times can do it, but he was disappointing tonight. He didn't really produce it. Burke's got pace, but not much in terms of the creative side of the game. You're absolutely right. We don't have enough players like that. But that's something we need to encourage from young players coming through, because I know for a fact there's a lot of it that coaches tend to discourage players who dribble at a young age, and I think it's wrong.
Well, listen, if they can keep telling the likes of a Karimoko Dembele and a Billy Gilmore to keep doing what they're doing and don't lose that flair that, you know, first got everybody excited, and just make sure that they pull on a dark blue Scotland top, that would be absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely dire. So many people have been commenting on our Facebook Live. Thank you to each and every one of you. We'll probably get through even more of them across YouTube and Twitter as well. Give us your thoughts on it. A humiliating day for Scotland in Astana. Kazakhstan winning by 3-0. By each performance, Ruffy, the heat's coming off you more and more. You're like a World Cup hero, never mind anything else nowadays.
Yeah, but it's still disappointing. You know, whether you're playing in it or whether you're watching it, it's horrible, and I wouldn't like to be in your house tonight. You know, I don't think you're in a bit of a downer. You better get home and get a wee drink into you.
It's a bad reaction, because we do want Scotland to be doing well, and especially playing against the weaker teams in the group.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Ruffy will get over it. He'll go out. Gordon and I might stay in on a complete downer. What about you? Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your comments as well. We go again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.